I wanted to also update what we had spoken about within the last lesson where we did that fetching of the array. So we see here that we've got another option here. We could do fetch source, and this allows us to fetch a result row as an associative array. So we could do, when we just do array, we can do associative, numeric, or both. And so there's going to be a difference here on how we can fetch this. When we go down to the example, we see that we're able to just do this fetch associate, and we're able to just add in those results. So it does look quite a bit simpler, and here we have to specify that we're fetching this associative array. So I can remove this if we know that if we're using associative array, and we can simply do fetch associative array. So there's a built-in function for that, and what that does is essentially simplifies that code that we were looking at last time. Go back out and refresh it, and we see that we're still fetching that data and returning in the same way. So this is just a simplified way, and it gives us less options when we're returning those results, but in fact it allows us to simplify our code and not have to specify that it's associative array, because with that we did have those options to do either one. And then we're returning the results in the same way. So we've got that same loop that we're doing here, while loop, looping through all the values here. So when we're looking at the sample, we see that we're also able to select out specific values here and return those specifically. So I can go back to my database if I want to do first, last, or age. I can do these in place of this this all selector, and I can do something like first, last, from test, and age. So I can be specific on the columns that I want to return, and just make sure that all of these rows that we're actually looking to return, those values, are going to coincide with those selectors that we're using. So when we refresh it, we see that nothing changes, and that's because we're just specifying which rows. So this is going to be a much more straightforward query, because we're only going to be returning these values. So and if I take in turn, if I take this and if I put it in PHP MyAdmin, so I have the ability to run SQL there. So if I do something like that, we see that we're not returning everything, we're just returning first, last, and age.